So we took last week that verbs are generally made up of 3 letters. These 3 letters are called fi'lun, verbs, thulathiyun, 3. So 3-letter verbs. Okay? And the template that we took was fa'ala. Fa'ala. And this is in 3rd person, meaning he did. Fa'ala. And this has been adopted by scholars of the language as a norm, pattern, model, or wazn. Last week we took wazn. And I think when you use wazn, that's what the author uses, wazn, which is a scale. It confuses the people because a wazn is a scale, and that which is weighed is a mawzoon. The word that is weighed is the mawzoon. So if I get a bunch of grapes and I put on a scale, the grapes is the mawzoon. And when the student is studying sarf, he gets a bit confused as to why the word is being weighed. So that's why I used pattern and model. It's a pattern that the word follows. Okay? So anything that is corresponding to the fa, any letter that's corresponding to the fa, represents the first letter. The ayn will represent the second letter, and the lam will represent the third letter. Okay? So if I look at the example here, we have the, kha, la. We've got dal, a kha, and the lam. So what I said was, this letter here is in place of the fa. We look at this, fa, a, la. The dal is in place of that fa. We call it fa'ul fi'l. It's the fa of the fi'l. So if I was to tell you, what is the fa of the fi'l taking? Actually, let's go back. The meanings of the words in Arabic come from the harakat that are on the words. So here we have a fatha, and it's meant to be a fatha on the lam. When I put onto this laptop, it went there. So now we have fa'ala. The meanings come from the harakat. So we have fa'ul fi'l. If I was to ask, what haraka is the fa'ul fi'l taking? It's taking a fatha. Fatha. And if I was to say the aynul fi'l, if you look here, the ayn is here, kha. The aynul fi'l is taking fatha again. And the lam of fi'l is meant to take a fatha, but something happened here. So da, kha, la is on the scale fa'ala. Okay? Whoever needs to take notes, I'll leave it on the screen for a while. So I said, anything corresponding to the fa represents the first letter. Anything corresponding to the ayn will represent the second letter. And anything corresponding to the lam will represent the third letter. And I'll explain it more in the next slide. Okay, so now let's look at the examples. So here we have the verb dhahaba. All of these are on the scale fa'ala, by the way. Dhahaba. If you look here, the dhal from dhahaba is under the fa, is corresponding or parallel with the fa. Then you have the ha, which is the aynul kalima, is under the ayn. Then you have the ba, which comes under the lam. So if I was to ask you what scale is dhahaba on, you will say fa'ala. Dhal under the fa, ha under the ayn, ba under the lam. Then we have another verb, kataba. Kataba, it means he wrote. The first means he went, I've translated them. Second one is he wrote. Okay? So if I ask, the fa is being represented by which letter? We'll say the kaf. Then the ta is under the ayn, and the ba is under the lam. Fa'ala. Then we have a next verb, raja'a. This means he returned. Raja'a, he returned. A single male returned. The fa is being represented by the ra. Okay, someone else answer. The jim is being represented by the ayn. And the last letter, the ayn, is being represented by the lam. And then you have another verb, akala. Akala. 3 verbs on the scale, fa'ala. And same, the hamza comes under the fa, the kaf comes under the ain, and the lam comes under the lam. Akala, he ate. Then we have the last verb that I've written here, jalasa. Jalasa means he sat. Jalasa. Jim is in place of the fa, the lam is in place of the ain, and the sin is in place of the lam.
So the verbs, the one with the three letters as their base, male,
Yeah.
singular, and past tense.
This is all male singular past tense. This is all male singular past tense. That's why I wrote he did, he did, he did. Everything is done by one singular male, and we'll take how to say she did, I did, we did. We're just going to start because this is the base. Whenever I give, if you were to ask for a verb, you always, or in the dictionaries, you always get it in this form. You always get in fa'ala, and it's you, as someone who studies sarf, to conjugate from there. You go, keep going, or you'll know what to add to say I done it, you done it, he done it, she done it, you'll know. And we'll learn, that's why we're studying sarf. Okay? So let's move on. Another thing that needs to be mentioned is the three-letter past tense verbs. There are three groups. There's three. They'll either be on the scale fa'ala with a fatha on the ain, the one that we've been taking this so far, or it will be fa'ula. That's the second one. So one is with a fatha, fa'ala. Second one is fa'ula. And the last one is fa'ila. That's the three. You'll get one of it'll be one of these three. The verbs will go back to one of these three. And I mentioned here, only the middle letter is changing in all three scales. Only the middle letter changes. So we're going to take some examples now. For fa'ala, kataba, meaning he wrote. Raja'a, he returned. And dhahaba, he went. As we took in the previous scale, in the previous slide. Then we have the other scale, which is fa'ula. The difference being the ain, taking a dhamma. You have karuma, to be noble, or hasuna, to do good, or sahula, to be easy. So you see the pattern now is following. It's not karama, it's karuma, because it's on the scale fa'ula. Okay? So if I was to say to you hasuna, you should know automatically it's on the scale fa'ula. Look at the harakat and follow it. And the last one, fa'ila, with a kasra on the ain. Fariha, he became happy. You don't need to know the meaning of the verbs yet, just understand the concept. And then after we'll learn the meaning of each verb. Hafidha, he memorized or preserved. Fahima, he understood. So here, the ain takes a fatha, so every middle letter will take a fatha. Here the ain takes a dhamma, so every middle letter will take a dhamma. The first and the last will take a fatha. And here, every middle letter will take a kasra. Okay? So the scales are fa'ala, fa'ula, fa'ila. Is this clear?
Does that mean that one is in one scale, it will never be in the other?
Yeah, it won't be in the other. Kataba will remain on the scale fa'ala. Now, and if the sisters have questions at any time, they can write the questions and throw it over, inshallah. Even if we'll go back.
So, in an Arabic dictionary, will the verbs appear in
Yes, it'll be
any
this
of
one.
these forms, or only the?
It'll be in these are all the root letters. I'm gonna show you in the next slide the increase, but these are always the root letters. The dictionary will always be in the he singular form. Or it will say here where it says he went, it might say to go in the dictionary. It will say dhahaba means to go, even though it means he went. And then it will say kataba is to write, like that. I'll show you in how to use the dictionaries as well. On the iPhones, there's a good dictionary called Oxford Dictionary. It's very accurate. For Androids, I'm not too sure. So here is the full scale that we will learn. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop it up, okay? When you're studying it, we take the whole scale in one sitting, but some of us are beginners, so we're going to take it row by row, inshallah. So this is the whole scale. Now, so here we have he did, they too did, a group of them did, she did, they too feminine did, they group of females did, and until the end. But I'm not going to go through all of them, okay? We're going to take this row here and this row here. We're going to take it one by one. But this is the full scale for Sarf. Once you've got this, whatever comes after that will become easy. Okay? So we're going to take the third person male, third person female. The next week, inshallah, we'll take second person male, second person female, and we'll take first person as well, which is easy. First person is for both genders. Okay, so we'll start with fa'ala. Fa'ala, meaning he did. Whenever it's on the scale fa'ala, it means one singular male has done the action. Fa'ala. Okay, so if I were to say, Aina abuka, where is your father? Aina meaning where, Abu meaning father, Ka meaning yours. Where is your father? This, you don't need to know too much, but this is more for the grammar that we took in the previous book. As a notice as well, what I'm going to do is once we're past the theory for Sarf, I'm going to start bringing grammar at the end of the lesson, so those who missed the grammar can catch up. I'll bring it just bit by bit. So, Aina abuka means where's your father? Then the jawab, the reply will be ذهب, he went, إلى السوق, to the market. ذهب إلى السوق. If I say ذهب إلى السوق, can that mean 4 people went? How many people went? One person went. ذهب is a singular, past tense verb, third person. So if I say ماذا أكل محمد, ماذا, what, أكل محمد, what did Muhammad eat? ماذا is used for questioning. ماذا أكل محمد, on the scale فعل. ماذا أكل محمد, what did Muhammad eat? He will say أكل دجاجا, he ate chicken, or he ate chicken. أكل دجاجا, he ate chicken. And if I would say من كتب على الكتاب, who wrote on the book? I'm asking because I want to ask one person. We will say Malik كتب على الكتاب, Malik wrote on the book. Okay, this one's واضح, this is clear. So now we're going to move to the jewel, 2 people in third person. So we have fa'ala. Once it's on fa'ala, always third person singular, he. Next one, fa'ala. What's the increase here? An alif. We've increased it by alif. So we have the root letters fa'ala with an increase of an alif. So when we increase by an alif, we've made it jewel. But it's a third person, so it means they. So remember, in Arabic, we have jul and then we have jam', which is plural. Is that a singular, 2 people doing action, or 3? It's one of the 3. But it's not like English where they means 2, 3. We have jul, singular, and jam', plural. So fa'ala, an increase by alif. It shows that 2 people have done the action in third person. 2 people have done the action in third person. And this alif has a name, alif al-ithnain. Ithnain meaning 2. Alif of 2, alif of jul. Alif al-ithnain. On the scale, fa'ala. So here the question will be, Aina Muhammad, or here Aina Ahmed wa Muhammad. Now I'm asking about two people. Where is Ahmed and Muhammad? Before it was where Aina Abuka, and the reply will be in singular. But here, is it big on your screen? Okay. So here, we'll say ذهبا إلى السوق. We don't say ذهب anymore. We have to say ذهبا with an increase of an alif, making it clear. ذهب, ذهبا. Can you hear the difference? So now when I hear ذهبا, I know two people are doing an action in third person. So here, the alif is the fa'il. The fa'il is the doer of the action. We have to show the doer of the action in the verb. Okay? So if I was to ask you now, who's the doer of the action in fa'ala? How do you know? No, but how do you know reading it? Can you tell reading it who the doer of the action is? No. They say تقديره هو. It's predicted to mean huwa. It's mustatir, it's hidden. Here you can't tell by looking at it that he done the action. It's hidden. It's predicted to mean huwa. It's predicted. But when I look at fa'ala, it's clear that the action was done by two people because of that alif there, meaning the fa'il. The doer of the action is shown by the alif. Here, hidden. Here it's clear. It's shown on the verb with an alif, aliful ithnain. So now, let's say, Aina Ahmed wa Muhammad. Where is Muhammad? Where's Ahmed and Muhammad? We'll say ذهبا إلى السوق. Even if I didn't have to question, if I just say ذهبا إلى السوق, knowing sarf, you know that two people have done this action. ذهبا إلى السوق. Okay? And for each slide, I'm going to use the same verbs, the same examples. I'm not going to change the verbs. So now I asked, ماذا أكلا محمد وإبراهيم? What did Muhammad and Ibrahim eat? أكلا. Before it was أكلا. He ate. أكلا. Two people are eaten. And the jawab will be أكلا دجاجا. They ate chicken. They, two, ate chicken. And look, if you look at the English, you'd never know it's two people doing action. I had to put it in the brackets. Akala dajajan. They ate chicken. And then the next one, man, got the kataba, which is the root word. The root letters increased by an alif in the blue. Man kataba ala al-kitab. Who wrote on the book? Two people. And the reply will be Malik wa Ishaq kataba ala al-kitab. Is this one clear as well? So far there's no question. I was told if there's no question, they don't understand. That's what I was told. It's clear. And for the sisters as well, if it's not clear, please let me know. Okay, so now we've done he, we've done they for two. Now we need to do the group. They again. But this time it's three or more. What did you say? The last one was kataba. Kataba. And every single one of these verbs are following the same pattern. Dhahaba, akala, kataba. Just by hearing, you don't need to read it. They all follow the same sound pattern. Okay? So now let's do the jump, which is the plural. And in Arabic, everything three or more is the plural. Everything three or more is the plural. Okay? So how do we make the verb plural? We add a wow to the end of it. A wow. So now the scale is fa'alu. Fa'alu. Making the wow clear. The wow clear. Fa'alu. Okay? So we get fa'ala and we add a wow and an alif. This wow is called wow al-jama'a. Wow of plurality, a group. Jama'a, like what we say, salat al-jama'a. A group. Waw al-Jama'ah. Now if you notice, there's an alif on each one. That alif there is only there as a protection. Okay? To not confuse it with the conjunction waw in the Arabic language means and. Now if this alif here wasn't there, they would think this means and. But it's not and. This indicates the doer of the action is a group of people in the third person. Okay? An alif there is only, its job there is only to protect the waw. It's there to protect the waw from looking like a conjunction. So if you read the examples now, I'll say, Aina Ahmed wa Muhammad wa Yaqub. Where is Ahmed, Muhammad and Yaqub? I can put 4 names here, I can put 5 names, it doesn't matter. As long as it's 3 or more, it's a plural. Okay, yeah.
Does the waw take a sukoon?
The waw, yeah. But the thing is now, you have to look at the ba. The ba is taking a dhamma. The ba is taking a dhamma. Where in the previous ones, the lam kalima takes a fatha. But here, it is taking a dhamma, fa'alu. Okay. So how do I say they went? We've done dhahaba, we've done dhahaba. Now we say dhahabu ila suq. Dhahabu ila suq. And if I were to ask you now, where is the fa'il? How is the fa'il shown?
The do.
Yeah, the do of the action. How do we know? Indicated by what?
It's in fact.
Yeah, the do of the action. How do I know now who's doing the action? How is it made clear by? The waw. Yeah, waw al-Jama'ah. So can I say now, translate as dhahabu means 2 people or 1 person done the action? No. Waw al-Jama'ah, waw for the plural. So now if I was to say, take the same verb, ماذا أكلوا? ماذا أكلوا? What did they eat? On the scale? فعلوا. Now, on the scale, فعلوا. فعل plus the waw and alif. So how do I say a group of people now ate? أكلوا. أكلوا دجاجا. Now look, we've done أكل دجاجا, he ate. أكلوا أكلا دجاجا, 2 of them ate. Now it is أكلوا, a group of them ate. دجاجا, chicken. Okay, the last one, كتب. من كتبوا على الكتاب? Who wrote on the book? Now I need 3 people. مالك وإسحاق ويعقوب كتبوا على الكتاب. These 3 wrote on the book. كتبوا على الكتاب. And that's the last example for the third person masculine. We've done فعل, he did. فعلا, they did, 2 of them. فعلوا, 3 of them did. Okay? So we've done this one, we've done فعل, فعلا, فعلوا. Now we need to go to third person. فعلت, فعلت. We have our فعل increased by a ta. فعلت. And there are two verbs or 2 scales where the doer of the action is hidden. What's the first one that we mentioned? Where the doer of the action is hidden. Fa'ala. Correct. Fa'ala. But in fa'ala and fa'alu is not hidden. It's indicated who has done the action, or the fa'il of the verb. Here, in fa'alat, the doer of the action is hidden as well. So what is that ta? What is the ta? This is a ta, it's called ta or ta'nith. It's a ta of feminization. It makes the verb feminine. But it doesn't mean that it's the fa'il of the verb, the doer of the action. All it does now it makes fa'ala feminine. Okay, it's called ta or ta'nith. Fa'alat. Okay, so if I was to give you were to ask me, how do I say he wrote? It is kataba. Now that you've studied sarf, you should know to make it feminine, you increase by a ta. She wrote. Or if you were to say they wrote, two of them, would you increase by? An alif, two people. And if you were to increase for three or more, you add the waw. What I mean by the doer of the action being hidden is now fa'ala is just the root letters. Fa'ala is the root letters. And they say the doer of the action here is hidden. There's nothing added at the end of it that shows that the action was done by he. So we say it is taqdeeruhu huwa, predicted to mean huwa. And if you were to look at the other ones here, it's clear. It's been increased by an alif. Okay? Alif al-ithnain, the alif of two doing the action. And then the third one, we increased it by a waw. So it's fa'ala plus waw. But here it's just fa'ala. We have just the root letters standing on its own. And similar to fa'alat, we just have a ta, and this ta is just to make it feminine. Okay? So if I had to ask now, in the Maryam, where is Maryam? We have a verb, dhahaba, but I want to say she went. I increase with the ta or ta'nith. Now, dhahabat, it becomes she went. On the scale, fa'alat. Dhahabat, on the scale, fa'alat. She done an action. So if I give you the verb akala, how do I say she ate? Because akala means he ate. Akalat. Mada akalat Maryam. What did Maryam eat? Akalat dajajan. She ate chicken. Okay, so someone else asked about the hidden pronoun. Let me go back to the full scale. Every single one of these is increased by a letter or two. And it's only hidden in two forms. He did, she did. Okay? So fa'ala are just the root letters. These are the root letters. And fa'alat are the root letters plus a ta. The ta of femininity. And there's no doer of the action indicated here. So we have to taqdeeruhu, predict that it means he, and predict that it means she. But if I was to go through all of them now, look, the alif here, there are two of them done. The waw here, three or more of them done. These two I'll go through again. But here, ta, you, masculine. Ti, you, feminine. Tu, I done it. But these bottom 9 will be for the next lesson. But the do of the action in fa'ala and fa'alat is hidden. There's no questions, sorry. Did you get the questions? Okay, so kataba, he wrote. Where are the root letters in kataba? If I was to ask now, the root letters in kataba, look at it. Who can answer? Ka, a ta, and a ba. So now if you were to search in a dictionary, you don't need to write katabat with the ta. You only search that which is in red. No, as for the hidden pronouns, I've told you, like I'm telling you, that it means that it's predicted to mean he. You have to predict and know that it's he. Because I've told you now. Predicted to mean he. And you always know when it's fa'ala, it is he. But it's not written, it's not shown that he done the action. Okay? Taqdeeruhu huwa. Predicted to mean he. So once you see this fa'ala here, always know he did. He did. ذهب, he went. أكل, he ate. كتب, he wrote. And everything else after that is increased. None of these verbs, if you look at all of these, none of them look alike. All of them are increased by a letter or two. So the scale فعل is always he did. Okay? And how do you know he did? You predict. It's a prediction. But we all know that it means he did. And as for the fa'alat, it's predicted that she did. And the ta makes the verb feminine.
Sorry. On the last example, when كتبت على الكتاب,
Yeah.
how does the questioner assume كتبت?
They don't. They'll probably say man kataba and just assume that one person done it. But here for the examples, I'm done, so you should know how to write. But you won't ask man.
Only the answer would then determine.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah. You ask man kataba al kitab, who wrote on the book, or if maybe it's a class full of sisters, they'll use fa'alat man katabat, like that.
Yeah.
That's only if there's a class full of sisters. Or you say man katabat. But generally, if it's mixed like this, I'll say man kataba, because the masculine come before the feminine. Now, okay. Should we move on to the jewel as well? For they two feminine. So we have, when it comes to the jewel, we have they two masculine, and then we have they as well for feminine. Okay. So now we want to say two women done an action. We've done he done action. We've done two masculine third person done action. We've done a group have done action. And we've done she done action, singular. Now we want to say two people done action, but they have to be feminine. Okay? So this is similar to fa'ala. Fa'ala is what? They two masculine done action, right? But now it's increased by a ta. It's the same ta that we done here. This ta here, used to make it feminine, is added to fa'ala. So we say fa'alata. Fa'alata. It's ta ta'nīth. It returns. So if you look at fa'ala, the fa, the ayn, and the lam are our root letters. The ta makes it feminine, and the alif shows that two people done this action. Okay? The fa, the ayn, the lam, that's our root letters. Fa'ala, kataba, akala, jalasa. Then we increase it by a ta to make it feminine. To make it feminine. And then the alif now makes it jewel. Okay? In an example, I use different colors. So if you say, Aina Maryam wa Aisha, where are Maryam and Aisha? I've removed the translation as well. You can tell the meaning. So now we have dhahaba, to go. The ta in blue indicates? No, not jewel. Feminine, yes. Makes it feminine, and then the alif at the end makes it jewel. Dhahaba plus the ta and the alif. On the scale, fa'alata. Okay? So now if I say, what's the difference between dhahaba and dhahabata? If I was to ask you now, you read in the book, you see dhahaba, and then you read dhahabata. How would you translate two of them? Yes, but in the English, it will just say they went, and you won't know. Even reading the Quran, like right now, if you see the scale and you read in the Book of Allah, you'll know that two feminine done action, or two masculine done action, or a group done action by reading. But the translation in English, it will just say they for all of them. Yeah? Yeah. It gives you context. Like the brother said, it gives you context and a better understanding of the book and the verses. Even for second person, it will come to us. We just say you. But in Arabic, there are 6 different types. 6. In English, we just have 1, you. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Mada is a question used for questioning, meaning what? Akalata. Akalata. Maryam wa Aisha. Mada akalata Maryamu wa Aishatu. The jawab being akalata dajajan. We have our root letters in red, the ta to make it feminine, and our alif to show jewel. And the last one, man katabata. Who wrote al-kitab on the book? Okay? Well, literally I'm saying, which 2 girls wrote on the book? The answer being, Maryam wa Aishatu katabata al-kitab. Okay? Before we go to the last one, we've done fa'ala, we've done fa'ala, we've done fa'alu, we've done fa'alat, we've done fa'alata, and then there's one more left. So if we go to the full table, we've done 1, we've done 2, we've done 3, we've done 4, we've done 5. Now we need they, 3 or more women did. Okay? And it'll be the last of the third person. Okay, so how does say they, feminine, 3 or more did the action? We increase the verb by a nun. Nun al-inath. That's what it's called, nun al-inath. But be careful here. From here, let me just go back. Let me go to the full table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The lam takes a fatha. Okay? From here until the end, the lam takes a sukoon. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first 5, the lam will take a fatha, and from here, the lam will take sukoon.
So the last letter is sukoon.
Yeah. From fa'alna.
They don't all take that. Fa'alu. That's
Oh yeah, like the Prophet mentioned, and fa'alu as well from here. But from here onwards, the lam will take a sukoon until the end in our pronunciation. Okay? We've done fa'ala, he did. Fa'ala, they did. Fa'alu, they did. Fa'alat, she did. Fa'alata, they did. And the last one for the third person, fa'alna. Fa'alna. So now the verb, as I mentioned, is increased by a noon called noon al-inath. So once you see the verb with that noon at the end, we know a group of women, at least 3 or more, have done the action. Okay. So we say, Aina Maryam wa Aisha wa Zainab. Where are Maryam wa Aisha wa Zainab? Now we need 3 people. Can I say dhahabata? No. Dhahabata shows only that 2 people done the action. We have to say dhahabna. Dhahabna. We've got our 3 root letters. Dhahaba, increased by a nun. If I say dhahabna ila suq, they went to the market. Dhahabna ila suq. And for the past tense verbs, the pronouns are going to be added at the end. When we move on to the present tense verbs, it will be added from the front. So pay attention for now. Everything that we've increased has been from the end. After the lam, we've increased. ماذا أكلنا مريم وعائشة وزينب. What did Maryam, Aisha and Zainab eat? أكلنا. The jawab being? أكلنا دجاجا. أكلنا دجاجا. Okay, so if you say فعلنا, you know that the action is done by 3 women or more. أكلنا on the scale فعلنا. So if you go now, if I were to ask, where is the عين الكلمة or عين الفعل in أكلنا? The kaf. Where is the لام الفعل in أكلنا? The lam. And where is فاء الفعل? The hamza. أحسنتم. And the last one, we've got kataba again. Kataba meaning to write. Man katabna ala al-kitab. Who wrote on the book? The answer being, I need 3 names. Maryam, wa Aisha, wa Zainab. Katabna ala al-kitab. Okay? So everything here in blue that I've wrote is the doer of the action, or it indicates how many have done the action, except this one here, which is used for making the verb feminine. And then here, the doer of the action is in purple. I should have done it the other way. The doer of the action here is in purple, and the ta used to make it feminine. And that's what we're, from the verbs and the scale, that's what we're taking. We've done the whole of third person masculine, the whole of third person feminine. Okay? As I mentioned, this is the full scale that we're going to take. Next week, we'll take from second person, and first person. So what do you need to do? You need to memorize the scale. Fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna. Once you have that memorized, that is your scale now. You can use that and put any verb on there. Okay? So who can read that now without looking? Go on. Yeah. You said fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu. You have to picture it as well. We've done the first line now. Now we'll come down and do the second. Fa'alat. فعلتا, and then فعلنا. Naam. So you've got فعل, فعلا, فعلوا, فعلت, فعلتا, فعلنا. These 6 have to be memorized. They're all for third person. Okay? Now, if I was to say now, looking at it, put ذهب. If you want to do it, I'm going to go. Just do ذهب. Do ذهب. Abdurrahman is going to put ذهب. He's going to put ذهب on each scale. ذهب. He's going to do it from memory.
ذهب ذهب ذهبوا ذهبت ذهبتا ذهب ذهبوا ذهبت ذهبتا ذهبنا.
Mubarak. So he said ذهب ذهبا. So ذهب ذهبا ذهبوا ذهبت ذهبتا ذهبنا. Now if I was to put jalasa on there, meaning he sat, I'll say jalasa, jalasa, jalasu, jalasat, jalasata, jalasna. What does jalasna mean? Who sat? It's not he. Jalasna. They sat. Pro. Yes. So if you have to say, Ayn al-akhawat, where are the sisters? Jalasna. fil masjid. They're sitting in the masjid, or they sat in the masjid. Or if I were to say, where are the Muslimun? Ayn al-Muslimun? Jalasu fil masjid. They sat in the masjid. The verbal noun, julus. Julus is sitting. This is they call it verbal noun. That's going to come at the end of the book. We're not doing verbal nouns yet.
I know we're not there yet, but what's the spelling difference between we sat and they sat, female?
Okay, so here look, we sat here is that's the last one that we're doing. We sat is here. Is there a mouse on my screen? Okay, this whole time I was using my mouse to show what I'm reading. If you look at the very last one, we have fa'alna. That is we done the action. But you have to make it clear in pronunciation between fa'alna and fa'alna. Yeah, some of you get mixed up. If I say jalasna, they, feminines, they sat, the group of sisters. But if I say jalasna, we sat. So you have to make the alif clear in the sitting. Okay? But the thing is, because we're all beginners, from the second person, you see what I wrote, second person male, everything underneath that, don't focus on it. Read the third person masculine and third person female, that's all you need to memorize. Fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, and fa'alna. Those are the three main ones for this, and that is all third person, masculine and feminine. So let's do an exercise together. And I'll answer the questions on the paper soon. While I read the questions, I need everyone to write the scale. These are ayat from the Quran. What scale are every blue or highlighted word on? Okay? Do it in your textbooks. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to check everyone's books as well, including the sisters. So what I'll do is, whatever exercise we do or questions I ask, for the sisters I'll check before the lesson, and for the brothers I'll check after the lesson. Okay? The sisters, before the lesson, if they slide their books underneath the sitar before the lesson, and the brothers, you can just approach me after the lesson. Okay, so read each highlighted word and write down what scale is it on. The scale that each verb is on. Does the noon in fa'alna act as a fa'il? And the thing which... No, in fa'alna, this is the fa'il. But if you look at the jewel fa'ala and fa'alata, we have to differentiate between the two. That's why the ta or ta'need is needed. It makes it feminine. But fa'alna, you can't get that confused with another verb. Same for fa'ala and fa'alat. You have to differentiate with the ta or ta'need. That is for fa'alna. Fa'alna being the doer, indicating they. For the question about fa'alat, a verb, no. There's two types of sentences in Arabic. One is jumlatul fi'liyah, and then the other one is jumlatul ismiyah. A verbal noun and a verbal noun and a nominal noun. One starting with a noun and the other one starting with a verb. So here, Maryam and the other names I mentioned, they're not. We wouldn't call them the fa'il of the verb, because it's a nominal noun. A nominal noun is made up of a mubtada, a subject, and a khabar. But now, if I was to say, the thing is, this is grammar related as well, so it might confuse you. Here, if I was to bring the verb at the start, I can't say katabna. I'll say katabat. But this is grammar, and it's more for Medina Book 2. Okay? But here, all of my examples are jumlatul ismiyah, nominal nouns, nominal sentences. Okay? Even though if I was to bring if I was to make it a verbal noun, now we need a fa'il and a mubtada, maf'ulun bihi and whatnot, but we're not ready for that at the moment. Okay, 23 copies for the sisters. Have you done this exercise? Everyone finished? You still doing it? Yeah, last one, yeah, okay. So these are ayat in the Quran, and when you read the book of Allah as well, and you see a verb, inshallah, you can, this verb is on this scale, that verb is on that scale. Only for 3-letter verbs. How does that? No, the verb, the reason why I'm asking the questions in these different forms is for just as an example. Just as an example. As I mentioned, if I'm now walking into the masjid and I ask a question, I'll ask in he, singular form. Generally, I'll ask in he, singular form. But I won't walk in and be like, fa'ala dir. These are only for examples. If it's a group of sisters, they might say, man katabat. Or if it's a group, maybe I'll say, man katabna. What a group of sisters does such and such. This, as I mentioned, is only as an example. These are only used for the jawab, you might say. For the jawab, you might say, a group of them done, a group of them done, or 2 of them done, or 1 of them done. Now, if there's a group of women and only 1 man, if there's a group of women, let's say there's 10 women and 1 man, you have to use the masculine. The Arab don't allow that. You have to use the masculine even if it's just 1 man and there's a group of women. You have to use fa'alu. You do not use fa'alna. Okay, so apparently you do the same in Spanish as well. The same is done in Spanish. Okay? Because if you were to use fa'alna, I think the man will get offended. Yeah, that's how they'll probably get offended. So always the masculine above the feminine. I don't make the rules though. Okay, so let's do the first one then. That is on the scale. I think the sisters have finished as well, the exercise. So the first one, sakhita, is on the scale. Fa'ila. Naam. On the scale, fa'ila. Okay, so the ayat about Iblis. The here, by the way, that fa, I didn't highlight it as blue because it's a conjunction, meaning so, or therefore, or and. It's like wow. So the blue is the verb. Sakhita, to displease. I should highlight the English, to be displeased or angry or whatnot. But as I mentioned, the meanings of the verbs is not important now, just the concept that we need to know. And then we'll take the meanings of the verb once we start building our vocabulary. Okay, the next one. Sajadu, fa'alu. And if I was to say, take it back to the root, who can tell? Sajada. Sajada. And then sajada, sajadu. Sometimes you have to go back to the root. Sajadu is on the scale fa'ala. Sajadu, who's doing the action? Who? They, yes, they masculine, group of them are doing action. Okay, sami'a is on the scale. 1 book. Okay, so 24 for the sisters.
You've got 24 books there.
Yes, there's 24. I'm confused. How's that work?
That's fine. 24 then.
24, yeah.
I think it's 20. I think it's 1924.
Yeah. So 24 books for the sisters. 24. Okay. Sami'a is on the scale. Fa'ila. Sami'a is on the scale. Fa'ila. And then katharu فعلوا. Now, if I was to ask you to take it back to he form, kafara. Kafara, so sami'a meaning to hear. Sami'a, he heard. Who heard? Allah. Qad sami'a Allahu. Now, going back to the question when they said, is Maryam or the fa'il of the action, the do of the action, here you have the jumlatul fi'liyah. It's starting with a verb. It needs a doer of an action, which is Allah, lafdul jalala, doing the action. Okay? Allahu, he's the one that heard. Sami'a. Okay? Okay, in the next one. We've done it in the kafr, yeah? Okay? Okay, now we have khalaqa. Fa'ala. Naam. And how do I say they created? If I say now, say they created. Khalaqu. Two of them created. Khalaqa. And she created? Khalaqat.
When you add in the wow, do you add the alif as well all the time?
Yeah, the alif has to always be there. There, look, for sajadu. Because now look, if I remove the alif and there's no harakat, you know, some of the books, there's no vowels, they're just plain. If I say saja, I might read sajada and. He prostrated and. So now that alif there is protecting that wow from the word that comes after it. That's why we say the alif of protection. And it's not to be confused with the conjunction wow, which is and. Okay? And we have khalaqa for the last one. How long is this lesson being? Okay, subhanAllah, 1 hour, 9 minutes. This is going to be homework for everyone. You don't need to write down. If you're on the Telegram channel, then just go to the last slide. So I've removed. There's no vowels on each one of these. You need to put it on the scale. Okay, right. Yeah. So for this one, if I was to do for you, this one will be what? Kasara. This one will be. No, this is what. I'm pointing with my mouth. I'm sorry. The next one, the ha, the fa, and the dad. It becomes hafidha. And then the one below that, the ba, the ayn, and the dal, it becomes ba'uda. Okay. So you need to do every single one of these verbs. There's 4 verbs for each scale, but you don't just do the he form. You have to challenge yourselves. You have to do he, they, jul, jam, she, they feminine, and they group. So how many is that? 6. Fa'ala, fa'ala, fa'alu, fa'alat, fa'alata, fa'alna. And then by the time you finish this, you'll probably have memorized the whole thing. So we memorize from fa'ala until fa'alna. Okay, inshallah, so we'll stop there unless there's any questions. I think I've answered the questions for the sisters as well.